Good morning, everyone. It's Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada. Today is Tuesday, March 28th, 2023, and if you've been following me in March, I have been focusing on using up my DSP. So today, I have a quick way to make 4 cards using up 4 different pieces of DSP and cutting your paper 3 times and getting 4 cards out of that. All right, as you can see on my desk, I have my paper trimmer today because I'm going to cut the paper so that you can follow along how I do that. And I've given you the template here, so you can, I'll leave it there so you can see it as we're cutting. And I am starting with 4 different pieces of DSP that are 4 by 5 1/4. So all these pieces are the same size. And I am using Dandy Designs from our celebration papers, mainly because they have 2 of our retiring colors in them, Pale Papaya and Fresh Freesia. So when our new catalog comes out, these 2 colors will be retiring. So I'm going to use them today. And this paper lends itself, I think, to Easter cards, so that's what I'm focusing on today. Now, you can see the 4 pieces that I've chosen. They all go together with the colors, and of course the other sides. So we can do some flipping of papers also when we get our pieces all cut. I'm going to cut 2 pieces at the same time on my paper trimmer. And you can see on my template, the first cut is marked here, 2.5 inches from my left-hand side. So I'm going to cut straight down for my first cut. So put my 2 pieces of paper in, making sure they're lined up really good at 2.5 inches. Sorry, these papers just don't want to line up. You can cut them singly if you're nervous about this, but it does work this way. Okay, so I'm going to cut straight up like that. Okay, now I have 2 pieces, you'll see, like this, that go in my template. Okay, so I will leave that one there for now. My second cut, as you can see on my template, is 3 inches from that left-hand edge. If I turn the paper this way, it'll be 3 inches from here. So put my 2 pieces back in at 3 inches and cut. So now I have this piece and this piece. Okay, then I'm going to take the long strip that we had, and the third cut is going to be 2 inches from this left-hand edge. So I'm going to put it in here like this, 2 inches. Like that, and cut. So I've got them cut like that. All right, so you can see how they are. All right, so I'm going to need to do the same thing on the other 2 pieces. I would not recommend cutting all 4 pieces at the same time because the chances of them wiggling around is, and getting out of whack a little bit is a bit high. So I would rather do it this way. So let's do that again. Put my 2 pieces in. My first cut is 2.5 inches. Straight down. Oops, sorry, wiggling my camera here. Straight down at 2.5 inches. Okay. Take this one out. Turn this one this way. 3 inches from this edge. Like so. And I will turn them, and I'm just going to lay them on top of my pile of other ones. This one. Take this one again. Sorry, I keep catching that cord on my camera and wiggling it. 2 inches. There we go. And I'm just going to lay them all like that. But take our paper trimmer away. We don't need it anymore. I will mention that I had seen this done by another demonstrator, Butter Dish Designs. So I am copying and sharing everything with you today so that you can see how they're made. Now, the two card bases I chose, of course, were Pale Papaya and Fresh Freesia. So we're going to lay these out. I'll leave the template there. So, of course, we have 4 cards. So let's lay our pieces on our template like that. And I'll lay my 4 card bases. Now, my card bases, I have them all going the same way, I think. Oh, these ones, these 2 can open this way or this way. So once we get our paper laid on, we'll decide how we're going to lay them. And this, the Pale Papaya ones are opening this way or this way. All right, so the way you lay these on is simple enough. You choose, say, your big square, and you put it on like that. And we'll put a big square here. And you don't have to lay them, I'll show you. You don't have to lay them in the same way, the same order. You know, we could move this one over here if you wanted, but we'll play with them once we get them laid out. Now, we don't want the same design on any 4 of this papers, so we want to mix our designs up. Sorry, I have to turn that. Yeah, let's put that one there for now, and this one here. And again, we're just dry fitting this so that we can see what it looks like, and we maybe want to change it all around after. Okay, and this one, put it there, and this one, see, I can't have that one there, can I? Because I want all 4 different designs on my papers without repeating any of the designs. So now I'm limited. Which card does not have this design on it? I have to move these up a bit so you can see them all. So this is the only card that doesn't have that sort of plaid on it. And this one, and this one, and this one. So we mixed them all up. They're all different. Again, like I said, some of the cards can open that way, or I can turn it and have it going this way. You can also move these around. They don't need to be in the same place on each card. You know, we can move them around like that. So you can do anything you want. Also remember that these papers coordinate on the back. So if I really wanted to change things up, I could turn some of these pieces over. I don't really like that one because it's too close to our color. But what is this one? Oh, look at this one. Look at this one. So like I'm saying, you can move them around and they don't need to be, if your papers are coordinating on the back side, you know, you can move them all around and have them all different. So that's kind of what they look like. I think I will put one together for you, and then I've got a whole pile of samples to show you. So let's go ahead and just do this one. Take these away. Okay, just set these up here. All right, let's put this one together. I do need my silicone mat. There's my silicone mat so that I can glue onto here. You could also put a mat under these pieces if you wanted, but it really doesn't require it because there's very little space around each piece when you get them laid on. You can see that. Okay, so I'm not matting, I'm not putting another mat underneath. All right, I need my liquid glue, and I think we'll get that layout put on there just like that. I like the way it looks, so I'm just going to lay it like this so that I can see how I want it. And then we'll decide if we want the card to open this way or this way. And I am making these Easter cards, if you're wondering, just because Easter is coming up, and I thought this was a good opportunity to use this paper, and I think it is sort of Easter colors. And I am using today the Easter Bunny stamp set and the coordinating punch. I do know the punch has been out of stock for a long time. I happened to get it right in the very beginning. I was lucky enough to snag it before it went out of stock. So I know lots of you don't have it, but I am using it to make my Easter cards this year, so I will show it to you that way. All right, so I'm just putting these on, and you can see I'm trying to make my borders even, just a little bit of space in between them. All right, so like I said, that's as easy as it can be to make 4 cards in a hurry. As you can see, this isn't taking me very much time to get these things glued on, and if I was to do 4 of them, they'd be done in no time. Okay, there we go. So that's the basic layout. There's our template. I can turn it this way. Actually, the way I've got it laid out, not even quite the same, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So the card can open this way, or it can open this way. So however you think you like the look of it. Now, what I've chosen to use on it is, like I said, the Easter Bunny stamp set is the stamp set I'm using, because it does have Happy Easter and the bunnies, and there's the coordinating bunny punch. So I did use it, and I am still using the Dandy Design paper. So what I did was I stamped 4 bunnies right onto the paper. And I used gray granite ink, I think, for this one. And I also used, I have to think what I used for the ovals. I did cut some ovals, and I believe that it's out of, didn't bring that stamp set. Framed florets. I used the oval that comes out of the middle of this frame. This is the oval that punches out of the center of that one. I ran it through an embossing folder, stripes and splatters. This is the splatters, as you can see. And I embossed 4 different ovals. And I thought what I could do is I could put an oval on the card like that, and then I could put a bunny on here. I could make this look like an egg if I wanted. It's a pretty large egg, isn't it? So we could put it that way if we wanted. And I do have the words, I stamped the words Happy Easter and cut them apart. So I do have them cut. So I thought I could just put the words on like that. I also brought in the pale papaya and fresh freesia ribbon that we had. So I thought a bow could go on here. So there's a lot of different ideas. I don't have to use that guy. I could use this one is different. I also cut some grass out. I think it's oceanfront, or might have been, I think it might have been, not sure which set I used to cut the grass. That's all right. There's grass in a lot of different sets, and I thought I could put a little bit of grass on here. So that was my thought for decorating this one. So I don't know what you think about that, or if I turned it this way, and I'm not sure if I want to use, no, I think I do want to use the pale papaya, and I don't know if I want to use the opposite bunny. And I'm thinking maybe even having him on here like that with a little bit of grass. I think I maybe like that better. And Happy Easter up there. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to glue the bunny on here, I think directly onto my background with a little bit of grass, and then maybe I'll pop it up on dimensionals. So let's do that. So we'll just glue this guy down. So this makes a quick and easy card by using a die cut. And The punch made it really fast. Unfortunately, like I said, the punch has been out of stock, and I think it remains out of stock for quite a while here, so you're not going to be able to get it for Easter, I don't think. But you could still use, if you have the stamp set, you can always use, there's 3 different bunnies in this stamp set, and you can fussy cut them out. They're not difficult to cut out. So you could do that too. That's another option. All right. So these are making up very fast Easter cards for me. I'm thinking I can get them done relatively quickly. I send a few Easter cards out to family and friends. So that will be done. I don't know if this needs any ribbon. We'll decide. So if I put that up on dimensionals, I'm thinking I'm going to just put the Happy Easter up here. Just put the Happy Easter up there like that. And I think I'll just glue it down. Again, I don't, because I'm mass producing, making quite a few cards, I don't want them to be too difficult or too time consuming because I'd never get them all done. Okay. This is nice paper to use because it has lines on it, and I can line these words right up. So you can see what I did with my words is I used the stamp Happy Easter, and there's what I did. I stamped it out, see, on a strip of paper, and then I just cut them apart into 2. So that you could use the whole thing like that if you want, and maybe on another card I will. So I didn't cut those ones all out yet. All right, so there we go. And I think I'll just take the backings off of my dimensionals and stick this guy down. And I'm quite pleased with the way that turned out. And I think I have I pulled some embellishments that I thought might work good with this. I don't think I want to put any ribbon on this one, but I did pull the 2021-2023 in color opal rounds because it does come in the fresh freesia and the pale papaya. So we've got that. And I also pulled the fine sparkle adhesive back gems because they come in, there's pale papaya in this one too. So I thought that was pretty. And I think I might just use these ones. I need my take your pick tool because I'm going to take, oh, we lost that guy. He went flying. Okay, I'm going to put one up here in the pale papaya and then a small one. That was a big one. That one's sticking to my finger. One stuck to my finger. Come on. There. And I'll choose another small one and maybe put it down here. There we go. All right. So there's our quick and easy card. I did change the way I was going to open it. This one's opening this way. And what I decided to do for the insides of the cards is I used the deckled rectangles, and I chose a piece like that. And I thought that I could add a strip in the inside of one of our papers that I used. Let's see. Let's look at what papers I have on this one. I do have this. And I thought I might put it across that way. So this one would work because you see the way the zigzags go. I thought I'd just put it across the bottom like that. So let's glue those in. And you can stamp something else on this if you wanted. In that stamp set, there are the eggs. See the eggs there? I thought I could stamp them just on the bottom corner of this. So we can do that maybe first before I get it glued in. I always like to stamp on my inside there first before I glue it in, because if you make a mistake, you want to change it, then that's your opportunity to do that. Now, being that our card is pale papaya, I'm going to use the fresh freesia for the eggs. And another suggestion I have is if you have a scrap piece of paper, and I need my Stampin' Pierce mat here. I like to stamp it on a scrap piece of paper first just to see if I like it or I don't like it. It looks good. I wonder what it looks like the other way. Let's just see. I think they'd be upside down, wouldn't they? Yeah, they would. All right, so get my piece of paper out of there. And I'm just going to stamp it in the bottom corner. Like that. Okay, and we're going to glue that in. Also, while we're at it, I like to decorate my envelopes. So I'm using just the medium basic white envelopes. So make sure that you got it the right way. I will just stamp that on the corner. Right, and I also like to take a piece of the designer paper and you can glue it onto your flap. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I think I'll use that piece. So this piece is, what is this piece? It's 6 inches long and it is 2.5 wide, so that it'll fit on the flap. I'm going to close this up before I get something dunked in it. All right. So we can glue that on. And we can glue our inside in. And if we want that strip of paper on the bottom edge, I like the look of that. You could put it along the bottom edge and that. Do you think that's too much? Maybe I don't want that in there. You know what? I think I'm going to opt to leave it off because I stamped the eggs on it. I think that's enough. And just a little bit of glue goes a long way. And you don't have to center this. You could put this down in the corner if you like. I'm going to center mine. Like that. There we go. That's the inside of our card done. There's the outside. Let's do the envelope flap. And again, all I do with this is add some white glue all the way around. Make sure the paper sticks. And because we used this in this one, I'm going to use this piece here. And I just lay it down. I guess this piece is longer than 6. It was obviously a scrap I had, but it's 2.5 inches wide. That's what you need to go so that it goes nicely around. And then you just trim this off. And you have a great looking envelope to go with your card. Like that. Perfect. All right. So there's our finished card and envelope. So very quick. We were able to put that together in no time. And that's one finished card and envelope just like that. So if you're mass producing, this is a, you've got a lot of cards to make. This is a really good template to use so that you get 4 cards quickly. Okay, so there's the card that we made today. And I'll show you a bunch of other samples I've done. Now, this is all using retired paper, but I'll show you what they look like. Actually, let's move this guy out of the way just for a second, and I'll show you these ones. So these were all done exactly the same way. You can see the orientation of my cards. I've got them going a little bit different. These cards, I decided that I would put an extra strip all the way across one of the seams, and you can see I put the paper right together. I didn't leave any space between the paper, but I cut a coordinating piece of cardstock, put it through an embossing folder, and it gives it a nice look, a different look. So I used ribbon on a couple of them. I used some sequins, but I used this piece of matching cardstock to my card base. So this is Garden Green. This one is Pear Pizzazz. So there's 4 cards, same template. Like I say, you just alter your paper. These ones I put a strip of DSP in the inside. So that's one set of cards. Here's another set I did in black and white. And again, I put the paper right together. And on these ones, I actually put another coordinating piece of paper behind, cardstock behind. So there's that one. That one. Oops, upside down. That one. And this one. So that's another set of cards. Black and white with a pop of color, except for that one's all black. All right, so you can see the difference in, and I just used some different die cuts for my greetings. This one says sending happy thoughts, and on the inside, for a very happy birthday, and I just used a piece of the DSP on the inside. And last but not least, here's another set that I made. And this one, I did the same as we did today. I left the spaces in between them all. And this was done with that fun, we still have the stamp set in our Plentiful Plants. That's the stamp set I used, and it came originally with coordinating paper, and in the paper you could cut out these plants. So these were very quick. I fussy cut all these plants out, and I used the plants on the inside, and I used the deckled rectangles again. This one doesn't have a greeting on it because I thought it could be used for just anything. I leave it blank, but like these ones are all, and you can see I didn't waste any of my paper. When you get DSP, sometimes your image is cut off on the edge. Well, I just use those pieces inside my cards and put them up against an edge, and then they look really, you never ever have to throw them away. And that one I just cut the plant off because in the DSP they'd cut the pot off, and so I thought, well, I'm not throwing away that piece of plant, so I'm going to use it. So I just fussy cut it out. So there's all those different sets. So there's 4 really quick cards for that set, 4 for the black and white set, and 4 of the green set. They also would make a great gift for someone if you put them all together. And here's our card from today. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. And next week will be in April, and I will have some new designs to share with you. Looking forward to seeing you again. Hope you enjoyed these. Have a great day.